Hi, Kim Parr, director of the Crocker House Museum here with you. It's early spring and we're all quarantining ourselves right now for the COVID-19, but it doesn't mean that you can't get out and take a walk. And even though the museum is closed, you are more than welcome to walk around in our garden. And I encourage you to come back later when more things are sprung up. It's early spring, so things are just starting to bud. And we want to give a big shout out to our master gardeners who help us maintain this beautiful garden. And also we have the Mount Clemens Garden Club which I'm going to turn this around, they maintain the herb garden that goes in the back of the house here, and it has a lot of wonderful herbs that historically were used for cooking and medicinal purposes. And the Mount Clemens Garden Club planted this incredible pink climbing rose. You'll have to see it once it's in bloom, and the sundial that you see here. And just to let you know, we do have a garden walk at the end of June. Cross your fingers that we can still do that. We're having a hard time right now. We're not bringing in any money. I know we're a nonprofit, but we still have bills to pay. And you can imagine with things like this to take care of, this house is never ending for as far as the work that we have to do to take care of this 151-year-old building. We're not complaining. It's a labor of love, but we need your help. We really do. So if you're not a member, we really appreciate you becoming a member. I have somebody here to ask me a question. Yes. I'm filming. You're on candid camera.
Sorry.
This is one of our volunteers.
I just wanted to say hi to you.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're surviving the COVID-19?
Huh?
You're surviving this?
Yeah.
Your whole family?
Yeah.
I'm just telling people about our garden.
Oh, beautiful.
So you take care and stay safe.
You too.
Okay, love ya.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
We are blessed. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers and members. We're very blessed. But let me point out a couple things. We have some things that you can look for in our garden. So while you're isolating, you can come out and take a walk. Here we have a grist stone. This actually came not far from here along the river, the Clinton River. At one time, there were a number of grist mills, so this was one of the stones that would grind the wheat or corn into meal and flour. So that's someone that lives right along the river just called us a couple years ago and asked us if we wanted it. She found it buried underneath the ground by the river behind her house, and we said we'd love to show it. So we're not sure the name of the mill. I haven't found documentation on that, but there were so many of them along the river there. So that was really nice of her, and we thank everyone who donates to the museum, because when you donate it here, it's for the community and for future generations to learn about where we came from. Over here is something interesting too. I'll show you. If you see that beautiful piece of stone here, this came from the top of the old sad iron building. They called it a sad iron building because it looked like an iron. And someone donated that to our museum as well. But we have something really strange, if you can see it here, that was donated to us. We don't know what this is. The person that gave it to us didn't know what it is. It's sinking, sorry, after the winter. There's a name on it, and I apologize, I can't read it and can't remember what it said. But it has these strange little divots in here. And we don't know what it's for. If you do, if you have any idea what that's for, we'd love to hear from you. Any ideas? So it's a mystery piece. We have a lot of iris coming up, different things. You'll have to come back when everything's popping up. We also have, I'm going to show you here, a brick walk. And start from the beginning. Some of you locals might see some familiar names. Here's two of my brothers that passed. They're our family's buried up in Whitechapel Cemetery, so I don't get up there all the time. So it's kind of nice to have the brick here. So I have a place to remember them. Of course, I remember them every day, but just seeing their name, I don't know, just brings a little peace to my mind. And of course, I have a lot of friends in here, a lot of past members to the society and community people, volunteers. Some of the businesses just show their support, and we thank them for showing their support with us, Nickel and Saf. So we really appreciate everyone who supports us. A brick is $100, and we always give a brick to any of our volunteers that have a loved one pass on, and in lieu of flowers, we figure this is something more permanent. And I think they really appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate seeing all these friends. Margaret, Meg, she was a big part of our museum here. I took over teaching her etiquette classes. I got myself certified, but I keep it going in her memory. So we have this nice brick walk, but also I want to point out this outbuilding here. This came from the Clinton Grove Cemetery. It was the whole facade of it, the door, the window, all the wood came from the house, the caretaker's cottage at Clinton Grove Cemetery, who, by the way, also is a member here, and we thank them for their support. And they help us with our cemetery walk each year. So I hope we can still have our cemetery walk. That's scheduled for the first Saturday of October, and this year we're going to celebrate the sesquicentennial of the mineral bath era. So I hope you're anxious to get out and join us for that in October. And hopefully we will have our garden walk, which is at the end of June. So keep your fingers crossed that we can still have a garden walk. We're still looking for locals to allow us to have their garden on the walk. It's a wonderful day to get ideas for your garden from other gardeners. It starts here, and we have a lecture talking about monarch butterflies and with a continental breakfast. That's a separate ticket. You don't have to come to that, but it is fun, and it's a nice way to start your day. So we have also just planted, and again, you'll have to come back in the spring. These rose bushes were planted by the local Rosie the Riveter Club, and they're a beautiful peach rose, and each one is dedicated to someone local who was a Rosie. I'll just show you, they have their name on them. This one here is Helen Greenmore Walker. We have, who is that? Anna Mae Cryer, Mary Agnes Greenmore Evans, and I'm stuck on a rose. Frances Morrow Masters, and Ruth Martin. So it's nice to keep their memory alive and thank them for their service to our country as being Rosies. And I should point out in our brick walk here too, let me turn the camera around. We, if you're a member here, we have a fun ice cream social gathering once every summer, and we give awards to people. And you can see we have a brick walk dedicated to people who we've honored. So we doubled the size of our garden here to clean that garbage up there. It's floating around. We're going to be moving some things around. The shed is going to be moved here. Our grand plan is to build a permanent pavilion because over there we put up a canopy for events in our garden. And so you can see we have a lovely, lovely garden. I hope you can see all that. So take a walk. Get outside. I'm sure you probably are anxious to get outside and get out and smell the little flowers. We have some crocus and stuff coming up. Oh, and I just want to point out this lilac bush. I bought this lilac bush. Oops, you can see what's going on in the neighborhood here. This lilac bush is really unique. I'm so happy how big it is. I planted it in memory of my father on the 30th anniversary of his death. And it is, I bought it on Mackinac Island, and it has a dark purple center with every flower is outlined in white. It is spectacular. So I just wish they'd stay in bloom a lot longer. Just want to point out too, let me take you out in front. I just tied white ribbons on the outside of the trees along the street. And that is to show our support for all the medical care workers in our communities, here in our community and all the communities around in Macomb County. Just thank you. This is a scary time, and we really appreciate you, and you're making history. And that's what we're about, documenting our history. If you have any stories you want to share with us, we will archive that. Jot down your memories, your thoughts, and what you've been doing. And take pictures. I've taken some pictures of shop signs and other people have taken some pictures of empty shelves and so forth. So this is what we were doing. So we put bows on the trees out in front. So, sorry about my hand there. Everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, and come and take a walk in our beautiful garden. Watch it grow with us this summer, and pray we can have our garden walk on the last Saturday of June. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope to see you here then. Take care.